let's play a little general manager. I had an idea the other day, thinking about how to fix the Pacers and make them better.
Mm-hmm.
It basically centers around Roy Hibbert, I think. When he is on, he's one of the 3 best defensive players in basketball.
The other 2 being Joakim Noah and Marc Gasol?
Yeah, or a rotation of guys like that. You can maybe throw Dwight in there. You can maybe throw Ibaka in there.
Throw LeBron in there.
The point was I could fix Indiana by focusing on Roy Hibbert, by making him the best defensive player he can be. And I think you need I think you would fix him. I think you got to get rid of Frank Vogel. I think Larry Bird doesn't like him. He's not a tough guy, and he's the kind of guy that gets you from being a non-playoff team to being a playoff team, but he isn't the guy that takes you to the next push.
So if Vogel's gone, who comes in? Who do you?
I think if you're going to focus on Hibbert, you go and you get John Thompson III. You get his old college coach, and who has ties, of course, to Patrick Ewing, who you bring on as an assistant to work with Hibbert and make his offensive game a little better. And then you ditch Stevenson because everybody fucking hates him. And you go and you sign like Gordon Hayward or something. And you just have a smart team, because I think John Thompson III runs some version of a Princeton offense, which doesn't require a point guard. Mm-hmm. So those principles fit a team that doesn't really have a point guard, because George Hill doesn't bring the ball up the court and run an offense. So and they like that kind of passing anyway. That's natural to those players.
Princeton could work in an Indiana offense,
or some version of it.
They could run triangle.
They could run whatever he would run. But he doesn't seem to use point guards, so you could do that. Now you're getting a rookie coach, but you're fixing your second best player.
I'm thinking Indiana's going to hire Mark Jackson.
Yeah.
Former Indiana player. He knows the culture. Him and Larry Bird, they have a working relationship. I mean, they've had a work. Yeah. I forget where. Well, wasn't Mark Jackson still playing for Indiana when Larry came on?
No. Mark Jackson was traded for Jalen Rose.
Oh, that's right.
In the late 90s, right before they got great.
But I could see them hiring Mark Jackson. I could see that happening. Cleveland, actually, there's a lot of rumors that Cleveland might hire D'Antoni.
Oh, well, LeBron's not going there.
What?
LeBron's not going to play for Mike D'Antoni.
No, that will not happen. That will not happen. Do you really think, though, that LeBron's going to leave Miami to go back to Cleveland this summer? Do you think that could happen?
I think LeBron. I think everybody re-ups for one more year.
Yeah. LeBron's also the ultimate opportunist. And
there's not enough opportunity out there this year. Next year, there's more teams with cap space and more good free agents.
Right.
I think, as I said, as I keep saying, the only place if I'm LeBron, I either stay in Miami one more year, or my second option would be to go to Boston, because they have all the pieces. Because they have the GM who will get it done. They have a young coach who will think of things out of the box. They have Rondo. They have a slew of bench guys or supporting cast, and they have 7 picks with which to go get any player you want. If you want Kevin Love, you get Kevin Love. If you want Omer Asik, you get Omer Asik. It's just 1 first-round pick, and they'll give you Omer Asik. And to you, a first-round...
Rondo, Kevin Love, LeBron James. Those are 3 guys that would complement each other so well.
And then throw Omer Asik down the block.
Yeah. You could definitely do that. But I think the jury's still out. People want to see Rondo play a little bit and see how he's recovered from these injuries.
Yeah, no, I don't think he'll do it, but I'm saying that's the only place to leave to go. If you think you can win next year somewhere else better than you can win next year in Miami. Yeah. It's a place that can go and get you a catch today.
LA's not getting it. There's no way LeBron James comes and plays with Kobe Bryant, knowing Kobe Bryant's going to be making $25 million to be the second best.
Not for 2 years.
For 2 years, yeah.
Yeah, not for 2
LeBron
years.
doesn't.
Maybe for 1 year.
even if LeBron goes next summer, LeBron leaves.
No, because next year he could team up with Kevin Love out there.
Right. Well, yeah, and Kobe's still on the books.
And then there's... Right. I mean, one more year. Like, if he stays in Miami one more year, then him and Love are both free agents the same year.
Yep.
And I believe, is that when Westbrook's also a free agent?
I think so, yeah.
Because could you imagine the freak athleticism of LeBron James and Russell Westbrook on the same team? Imagine the perimeter
LeBron
defense.
Essentially getting just like a newer Dwayne Wade, a newer, fresher Dwayne Wade.
A faster Dwayne Wade.
Yeah, faster, more athletic. We're talking Dwayne Wade early in his career, Dwayne Wade. Yeah.
Who doesn't take as good of a shot selection, but yeah.
We're splitting hairs here, but you're essentially getting him to play that role, though, next to LeBron, and we saw how well that LeBron and Wade worked out. Getting another 6'3", 6'4" shooting guard that can penetrate and is explosive athletically is a good would be a really, really good pairing with LeBron. I think LeBron. Essentially, I think that whatever team he goes to, if he does leave Miami, or, don't expect, I think a lot of people are thinking, oh, LeBron's going to leave. I would not be surprised to see Miami pull a rabbit out of its hat. I mean, Pat Riley right now knows Phil's in New York, knows that New York could be is a sleeping giant in a couple years once they have cap space, once they get rid of that horrendous Amari Stoudemire contract and everyone else that they've got.
One more year?
Yeah. Once that money starts freeing up, especially if Melo does bolt, that's another guy gone. And if there's money to spend there, and Pat knows Phil's in New York, I mean, Pat Riley and Phil Jackson, I mean, there's a rivalry there. And I think that, Pat Riley...
New York Knicks.
What?
And Pat Riley, New York Knicks, yeah.
Yeah.
He got two foes he could squash in once.
Exactly. And Riley was in LA forever, so you have this sort of similarity and these sort of parallels between Phil and Pat Riley. And I think that Riley knows that if he doesn't he's got to make things happen in the next year or two to solidify Miami's dominance in the Eastern Conference, because if he doesn't, Phil could definitely... you never know what Phil Jackson and the Knicks are capable of in a couple of years. So don't be surprised to see Miami make a move. To Miami to...
There's a real good chance they can... I mean, somebody somebody wrote an article a month or two ago, maybe more than that, about all those guys, all three of them, what they have are 2 one-year options that are player options this upcoming year and the following year. And they just get more and more expensive. And so all they have to do is opt in, all three of them, put Miami in a luxury tax and penalties, say pay for it because we're going to win you more rings, so just deal with us, pay us. And they could just keep this going. But they could very well, all three could opt out. They'd still retain their bird rights with the franchise, and they could sign a fourth guy. This guy wrote it as Melo. They could sign a fourth guy, and then they could all just sign back up afterwards and go crazy into the cap, into the penalty, which is 4 guys on incredible max contracts, or whatever, or close to max contracts, or whatever the heck. You could just
and these are players that want to win. You're also talking about a
$220 million in payroll, but who cares? Like, you're going to destroy everybody.
You're talking, too, about a state, and this is the other thing we don't think about when we talk about top destinations.
Yeah,
Florida, no state income tax.
Texas, too.
Texas, too. And that's huge. That gives you a huge advantage. And, we talk about the Mount Rushmore of NBA coaches, which is probably Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, you put Pat Riley on there, and then, who's the fourth? You'd say maybe...
It's Red Auerbach.
Red Auerbach, yeah.
Yeah,
so
he's the first.
That's the Mount...
second. He's second. Wow, yeah, Phil's first, duh.
Phil's first, yeah. And then you go Red Auerbach, I guess, in the old era. Fine. Pat Riley's on that mountain, and I think that, it's Phil, but I think we forget, Riley there's a lot of players that want to play with Pat Riley, and Pat Riley also has the best player in the league right now, LeBron James, a guy who distributes and makes other players around him better.
And a lot of people want to live on South Beach. Like, a lot of people want to
Everyone
take
wants
their
to live on
talent
South Beach. It seems like, Miami, they have fun together. You can tell that team has fun together. And they did that stupid Harlem Shake video last year. And that's a team that they enjoy playing together.
They have to involve themselves in every trend. They had to do a thing where they put on the hoodies for Trayvon Martin. They had to turn their jerseys around because the Clippers turned their jerseys around. Like, they have to involve themselves in every bit of social media because they're so into themselves.
They're so vain. But you know what? It's very attractive to free agents. And having an opportunity to play with those guys, it's almost in a weird way because, they assembled because they all played together in Team USA. And it almost seems like they have that fun. The Miami Heat sort of have that fun that, Team USA has when they all play together. It seems like there's that sense of we're all in it to win it. We're all here. We've all sort of joined forces as sort of this Justice League or like the Avengers or whatever. And I think that especially with all the kind of anti-Miami sentiment around the rest of the league and fans and, hating Miami because they all joined forces, I think they have that even more so. It's us against the rest of the world. I think that they really have a culture there. And I think Spo should get a lot of credit too because
I
think that essentially Spo originally was going to be like Pat Riley's, what Phil wants, where he wants just like a young, inexperienced coach to sort of.
Well, he had been with the franchise for over 20 years. He started as a ball boy.
in all kinds of forms too. Wasn't he like a videographer for the franchise?
Yeah, he had been through everything. So this is a guy that knows what he's doing, and he's not going anywhere. And managing egos incredibly. It's everyone says, "Oh, Spo, he has all these great players." I mean, But what? So did Phil Jackson. The people shut up once you get 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 rings.
Yeah, and he was able to put them all together, and he gets them to all coexist. And I think that's not an easy thing to do. And we saw it 2 years ago, or last year, I mean. When the Lakers had Dwight and Powell and Nash and Kobe, and we saw what a blunder that was. It's not.
Spoelstra's the guy who's forcing Dwayne Wade to sit out 28 games and to sit out long minutes in game to pull him off the court when he wants to play, and he's not happy about it. And Spoelstra's pulling him off. He's not just letting things. He's not Scott Brooks, who just does nothing, who just has a good system and good ideas. And is Scott Brooks anything? Is he just the right guy that the GM likes for the job?
I'll tell you that Presti likes. I'll tell you what. The only thing I'd say about Scott Brooks, you know what Scott Brooks is? Scott Brooks is gone. Scott Brooks will not be back this season. He's gone unless
they beat San Antonio.
Wins a title. Unless they beat Miami and win a ring this year. I think that Brooks.
I don't know that you fire him if you don't have somebody better. Who are you getting? You're not getting Mark Jackson. He's not experienced either.
But that's the thing, though, too. I think there's a restlessness that comes sometimes in a franchise, and I think they're seeing the clock now. They're aware of the fact
Sam Presti comes from San Antonio, right? I don't think he has that restlessness. You go get Tom Thibodeau if you can get Tom Thibodeau. They could. LA talking. Tibbs is talking. Tibbs does not get along well with the Bulls manager. He does not. No, he's not happy. They could just swap. Why don't they just trade Tibbs for Scott Brooks? There, I played GM again.
Maybe,
just make a trade.
That could be interesting. Yeah, Tibbs would be a nice fit in OKC. Yeah, he could bring that. He could bring that defense, and OKC has the roster. They have the players to play great defense.
They're going to lose Cephalosha.
Do you hear Ibaka might be able to play? He might play in the.
Yeah, I don't know. It basically puts their season in the hands of Caron Butler, doesn't it? If he doesn't play, doesn't Caron Butler have to step it up and have a 25-point game somewhere?
Well, Ibaka's never really been relied on to be a big scoring presence. I think Ibaka brings, he's a rim protector.
Right, so you need whoever's in that spot to do something. He's not, Caron Butler's not going to become a rim protector, but he could score 25 in one game somewhere out of nowhere.
Right.
He used to be that guy 10 years ago. He could do that again.
Yeah, you essentially, OKC just needs to, without Ibaka, OKC now is relying more on just shootouts.
It needs one of the other 10 guys on the team to win a game for them. Those 2 guys will win you 3 games. You need somebody else to win you another game, to win you your 3rd game, and they'll go win you your 4th. Like, they need somebody to do it. And it could have been Ibaka on defense, and now it needs to be, I don't know, a combination of Caron Butler and Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson could just go off for 30. Like, he could just do that one day. I love
Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson is great, and Reggie Jackson is also going to be a top. That's another guy too that probably is a player that probably isn't going to want to be playing with Westbrook, because he probably sees that he might have a little bit of that hardnitis.
Wasn't he in the beginning of this season, or was it last? No, yeah, the beginning of this season, he was playing wonderfully when Westbrook was out, right?
Yeah, and I think he sees, I could get mine maybe somewhere else if I wasn't behind, playing behind Katie and Westbrook.
Yeah, I mean, he could be
that hardnitis that, there's just not enough balls on the court.
Don't you think Phil Jackson would like Reggie Jackson?
Oh yeah.
Was it Phil Jackson, Mark Jackson, and Reggie Jackson all in the New York Knicks? And then go find 2 more Jacksons and have a Jackson 5.
Find 2 more Jacksons, exactly. Yeah. By the way, the new Michael Jackson, Justin Timberlake song, phenomenal.
I haven't listened to it. I'll play us out with it.